Now let's get lively. Gather round, let's sort the buyers from the spies, the needy from the greedy, and those who trust me from those who don't. Eddie Murphy! Fuck you!
Get the fuck out of here! Man, you fight with nobody.
Best of all time, and before time was even created.
Follow me, Hunt. I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. Oh, don't be scared, homie.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Grab his dick and twist it.
Oh my god, dude, this is an MMA fight, dude.
Twist that dick.
Twist this dude.
Ladies and gentlewomen, it is indeed time for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching along at home. This is the Eggplant Tornado podcast, the fight podcast for the common man. We coming at you live out of Garden Disaster Studios. With me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend, the Griff. How you doing this week, buddy?
Fucking doing pretty well. Fucking exciting fight today.
Yeah, I guess.
We'll get into that. Oh yeah, I'm doing alright. Man down.
We are a man down. Grim's got family duties as well.
Happens, you know. We're coming at you about 6:30
It
p.m.
is
at the
about
moment.
6:30, so a little bit of a late one for a Monday. As you know, had to be done because we're in the country we're in and everybody decides to have exhibition fights on a Sunday because why not?
Yeah, that's so dumb. I get it's in like Saudi,
Yeah.
but also just like
Just do it on Saturday night so everyone can watch it.
Yeah.
Instead of being idiots.
I don't know who really benefits from that, except for Saudi.
No
but
one.
like also Saudi just doesn't fucking care. I do not have.
I know, I realised that as you were saying it. It's a bit of a thrown together episode anyway.
I love it, dude. How do we just know? I'm just like, I don't, and you're like, yeah, I know. But like, how do you know? You know,
There's this Vulcan mind meld of shit. You're just like,
that was perfect.
just that
It's
look
like,
in your eyes of, I don't have the notes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty much, we're only going to talk about a little bit of news today and then the absolute debacle that was the fucking fights on the weekend. There was a UFC Vegas event, but the main event got scrapped as the fucking thing started. So literally every fight event this weekend was a fucking debacle. But,
UFC's not worth talking about. I just
well, there is a UFC worth talking about, and that's the one coming this weekend, which we will be previewing towards the end of the show.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And, I don't know, I'm sure somebody can come up with something that's got a Bernie pretty sanded at some point in time.
No, I mean, it wouldn't be us if something wasn't fucking sand and something.
I'm sure something will come along. Let's try and pick a point out of the news and move it on later.
I'm feeling chafed just thinking about it.
Just getting a bit fucking red and sore. But alrighty, as always.
It's fucking. Whew.
Jesus. As always, we're going to start off here with a bit of Believe It or Not. And fucking, if you can believe it or not, Griff, Fury vs. Usyk is not going to happen due to Fury turning down a large amount of money for a 50-50 split. So here's what's happened. The Saudis tried to put up, I'm not sure what the figure is, but they tried to put up, obviously, like some good fucking Saudi oil money
Yeah.
because they wanted the fight over there. Tyson refused to take it because the Saudis insisted they weren't going to do the fight unless it was a 50-50 split, because in their eyes, it's a 50-50 fight.
I mean,
It's not a 50-50 fight in my eyes. In any other fucking instance, it's the same reason that Spence and Crawford didn't happen, because Spence wanted more money because he had 3 of the belts.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You went around and fought champions and got those belts. That's fine. Get a 60-40 split. Get a 65-35 split. That's fine. Same should apply for Fury.
yeah, I'm not like against what Fury reckons. Like, he's fought in heavyweight for how long? He's like held belts for how long? And then came back after not fighting, doing like his whole fucking cocaine shit that he was on.
Yeah, that's it.
And then coming back like severely overweight. He
Mhm.
was like 400 pounds or something.
Oh, he was like 300 and something in
Like-
his first fight.
No, like when he was like out of weight, like out of camp,
Oh, yeah.
he was like 400 and something pounds.
Yeah, dude.
And
he
then
was
came
huge.
back and, beat one of the best heavyweight boxers we've ever seen, Deontay Wilder. But no, you know what I mean? Like, no shit to talk. He like came back and done good shit, and then has like ran the heavyweight division since then. Like, because who else is up there other than AJ?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you've ran the heavyweight division, but you haven't fought
No, he's no
the other
fought-
top echelon of the heavyweight division.
which is AJ.
Exactly. Or
He-
was AJ, and
he-
he's now Usyk.
Yeah, Usyk beat AJ twice. So, Usyk's now in that spot.
Mhm.
So no, yeah, we have to see this fight. But I agree, Tyson probably, 60-40 split. You wouldn't be mad at it. Usyk probably wouldn't be mad at
You're
it.
still probably making 100 mil.
Yeah, easy.
It's the
Making
Saudis,
bank,
man.
dude.
It's the Saudis, and it's an undisputed heavyweight fight. This is the biggest fight in boxing.
Yeah.
That's how it happens. The heavyweight division always, like, carries the sport and kind of thing. And you see that, like, the way that the heavyweight division operates trickles down through the rest of boxing. It always has. It pretty much always will. Because that's the mainstay of boxing. Like, people, it's the same reason I got into it, man. I wasn't into, like, watching Lomachenko or Canelo or anything like that. I just wanted to watch big people go out there and knock other people the fuck out. And then all of a sudden, by proxy, you just start to appreciate the sport of boxing. And then you go, oh, I want to see somebody who's a little more technical at it. And then you kind of just literally, like, boxing fandom works that way as well. It's all a trickle-down effect. You start to get lower and lower and lower. And once you get to that, like, 118, like, 112 pound kind of fights, man, there's no knockouts or anything like that. But there's 2,000 punches thrown.
Yeah, they're just, like, action-packed the whole time.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I like, grew up on, like, Costa Zoo DVDs and shit. Like, before I got into the UFC, I was always, like, heavily into boxing and, like, watching, like, the smaller
He's going
people.
only 2 weeks away.
Oh, fuck, I'm so excited for that.
Get it done, Timmy.
I mean, he's gonna. Fucking Tim Zoo.
George, you're not the face of Australian boxing. I don't care what you think.
Like, hear me out here. Nikita Zoo would fuck George Kambosos up. Like, I get there's a massive size difference.
It's not massive.
They should tee that up, and we'll see. Like, if you can't even beat Tim's little brother.
Kambosos is quite a small 135er, though.
And
He replied to my
Nikita's
comment the other day.
You've done what?
He replied to my comment the other day.
What one?
He posted a photo of himself. No, not the one that you're thinking of.
Oh.
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 Put so much work into that.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
Speaking of which, Ruby was losing it at your TikTok captions today because he hasn't seen any of them.
What are they?
What was the one that you posted earlier?
Who's going to carry the...
Who's going to carry the sandwiches? And then, no, the one from today was fucking great as well.
What did I do today?
I can't remember. You just said, what did I do today?
I don't know what I write. I just like, literally, this is how I do it. I just get a bunch of shit out of the drive, just a bunch, and put it into my phone, just at one time, and then just literally like, because it's all in just a folder.
Yeah.
Just like click one, and then whatever it is, I just go ahead with it, put like the captions, and then just like listen, and be like, because you got to listen while you like fix the captions.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, okay, this is a funny name for that, or yeah, that's how the names come to my head.
Said today, but fuck, it was funny. It was so good. So here's where things get interesting.
With
They're
what?
talking about
Sorry,
the Fury fight.
heavyweight. Yeah.
They're talking about things. Yeah, I went on a little bit of a fucking spiel there, didn't I? Today's not going to be a long episode. Here's me fucking going off for 10 minutes on the first point.
You know,
But this is the point that I wanted to make anyway. Deontay Wilder was in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Why?
Get some sun. I don't know.
No. To make negotiations for him to be standing in for this next fight. There's been a lot of movement, and I haven't written it down. There's been a lot of movement in the heavyweight division in the last couple of days. What's happened?
His TikTok caption is
About
anyone burning toast.
Yes. It was so good. Maybe lose because I like read the caption and I was like, what the fuck? And then I watched it and I was like, oh, hey, that's so accurate. You just anyway.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago, it came out that Deontay Wilder is still working with the PBC, but he's not signed to the PBC. He's a free agent.
Okay.
2 days ago, it comes out that Andy Ruiz has either been dropped or left the PBC and is searching for other like promotion. So 2 top heavyweights from the PBC gone in a matter of weeks. Not to say that Deontay Wilder is not still going to be on Showtime cards and PBC promotions and stuff, but he is a free agent, so he can work with whoever he wants.
See, like if you're a boxer, that's the best case scenario.
Yes.
You get signed, make a name for yourself through the promotion, and then once you've got like a mad name, fucking go on your own way, be a free agent. Oh, now I can just go fight for 10 million for Eddie.
I want to wait for Froomey next week to talk about this whole like downfall of the PBC thing, but it's fucking coming, and it's coming fast.
We can come, Ned.
I had it written down so you could do it later.
Okay. We're coming for you back.
2 times.
Hope she's bringing sexy back.
2 times. Anyway.
Bringing sexy back.
So with all of that movement that's happened, it was supposed to be Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz for a WBC contender spot. Both of them have turned down that match. It looked like in the next couple of days that AJ was going to try and organize a fight against Filip Hrgović, who is the interim IBF heavyweight champion.
How come I've never heard of this guy?
You've heard of him because you've watched him fight. Remember, he's the dude that fought the big Asian on AJ's last card.
Oh, the big headbutter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So, he's the interim IBF champion. It was looking like AJ was going to challenge him after he fought Jermaine Franklin.
Mhm.
It's now looking like Andy Ruiz is going to challenge for that spot.
Okay.
And then, potentially, Deontay Wilder is looking to step in and fight Fury.
So we might see an AJ Ruiz trilogy.
This is what it could be leading to, yeah, because AJ is the number 2 contender for the IBF.
Yeah.
And if Usyk's tied up in, because that's the other thing as well, Usyk's got mandatories that are going to start coming too.
Yeah.
He's going to have an IBF soon, probably going to have a WBO, I believe, which is like Joyce. WBA is...
Is that Joyce Kim?
Who?
Joyce Kim?
He's going to have Daniel Dubois of the WBA, and then
Wait, but hold your thought. Doesn't Daniel Dubois sound like a dude we went to school with?
Adam Dubois.
Is his brother, you reckon?
No. Not at all.
Sorry, yeah, but every time you say that dude's name, I just think the same thing every time. I'm like,
But yeah, so there's going to be a whole bunch of shit happening in the next couple of weeks. We still
there's a
obviously
lot of shit going on in the heavyweight division.
Who knows? Maybe they could just fucking get their shit together and make this fight, but who fucking knows? Anyway, let's move on to a fight that has been fucking confirmed. 136, catch weight, April 22nd, Davis Garcia.
I was like, I seen this pop up. I was going to send it to you. I'm like, he's seen it.
I've seen it.
Send him this.
I've seen it and already gone to the bathroom by myself.
Just got hard out today. It's a beautiful fight. That's finally.
Well, my comeback.
I bet it was a good one.
Yes, so we fucking have it. We finally have it set in stone. But it's like 2 weeks before Tank gets sentenced.
Oh, well.
So he could potentially get knocked out, lose all his credibility, and then go to prison for like 4 years.
I mean, if that's the scenario, if he loses and then gets locked up, his fucking career's over.
Not over, but like
over. You can't get fucking sparked by Ryan Garcia, who's like still on the up. Who's like, I'm not trying to shit on Ryan Garcia and say like, oh, Tank should shit on him. It's a 50-50 fight in my eyes. But then like to lose like hard and then just go to jail for 4 years.
Dude, imagine if he just comes in with that leaping hook and just eats a fucking left hook that's in between photo frames on the way in and then just wakes up
in jail
outside the stadium just like, what happened? What the fuck's going on? Oh, so that dude just like knocked you the fuck out.
Yeah.
Now we got to fly to New York because you're going to get sentenced in 2 weeks. I don't give a fuck how many bad days I have this year, man. At least I'm not Tank Davis.
Yeah, in that situation. He could also, I don't know.
That's the other thing. It could just literally all come up fucking diamonds for him, man. He could just spark Garcia the fuck out and then get walk scot-free.
Yeah. So what's he actually up for?
A bunch of shit. Like hit and run charges, fucking.
On the Johnny Bones.
He's done the Johnny Bones.
What a man.
Speaking of fucking, yeah, we'll get into that later anyway. He hasn't done himself a Johnny Bones. I reckon they've just kept him locked in a fucking gym chained to the wall for the last week. Sitting there with hair dryers fucking pointed at him so he can cut to 265.
I feel like for the first time in his career, he's like surrounded by good people for him. I know it's not like, it's like Henry Cejudo and shit. And that's not like, oh yeah, I got Henry Cejudo with me. He's like a fucking double Olympic gold medalist.
We're going to talk about him later anyway.
Shit. So he's like, for Jon Jones, it's good for him to have around, I feel. But yeah, back to Tank. That's a fun fight, man.
It's a fucking great fight, man.
Who do you favour?
Like, it's 50-50. I literally can't pick.
Like Tank's,
I don't think it doesn't go to decision.
No. Tank's got the better boxing skill to kind of tire Ryan out a bit and then put him to sleep.
But
he's also got the power to just put him to sleep.
But that's the thing. In Tank's last fight, I really saw some holes that it's just like, oh man, Garcia can exploit the fuck out of that.
Well, I feel like me and you were both saying the same shit when that fight was happening. Like, oh, it's not good for him.
Yeah.
Like, against Garcia. Because it was like fighting Garcia, but like we're talking about the other Garcia.
Mhm.
Too many Garcias on that night.
So many Garcias.
Fighting the crowd and shit.
That's right. It was Meek Mill and fucking Gary Russell Jr. So Meek Mill would have got pumped.
Yeah. Wouldn't be good for him.
Not at all, man.
Yeah, that's fun. Any news on Haney Lomachenko?
Nah, nothing yet. There's a bit of like stalling happening on that. So who fucking knows? I did see the other day that Shakur Stevenson was saying something like, fucking, Haney's a bitch if he doesn't, essentially like Haney's a bitch if he fucking leaves the division and doesn't fight me.
Who's
What do you
saying that?
Shakur Stevenson.
I don't know if he. I don't think anyone wants to see that fight. From what you guys have explained to me.
It's gonna be a real. Well, it depends. It all depends on Shakur.
Yeah, I've
Because
watched a
he
few of
can-
his fights. He's fun to watch.
He can push the action if he wants to.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Haney,
like-
Haney's last fight was against Kambosos.
Yeah.
and he made it a fucking fun fight.
He did,
Like he used his backhand pretty much.
but he
he's,
can't
like,
do that
making-
against Shakur.
No, he's got to like go back to doing what he does best.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, it's not that fun to watch, but it's like got him undisputed, I guess.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Shakur can do that just as well as him,
Yeah,
and probably hits a little bit harder.
yeah. From what I've seen, I reckon that Shakur hits harder.
Mm-hmm. He's
Um,
definitely one to keep an eye on, man.
yeah. Well, a few of his fights have been popping up on Top Rank, maybe.
Yeah, they
YouTube.
have.
I've been watching. a couple of
Definitely
them.
would have.
Yeah, they're pretty. He's fun to watch.
Well, speaking of things that might be fun to watch, Hearn says Belieb and Bivol are in talks for June in Saudi Arabia.
I don't like that for Better BFA. I know I've said in the past that I don't like it for Bivol, but like after watching the last fight, I feel like Bivol's just going to pressure him.
Yeah.
I feel
Bivol's not going to take a step, like a foot off the gas the entire time.
no, he's just going to like push forward, pressure him, make it like do the Canelo thing all over again, just with a
Mhm.
bigger dude.
Bivol's
be harder
capable
for
of
him.
outboxing him.
Yeah,
But that's the thing. Bivol's also been down before.
yeah, and then we've seen the last guy that Bivol fought. I can't think of his name. Like kind of exploit Benavides. Benavides. Look, why can't I say his name?
We smell toast.
No, I think we're good at the moment. Benabiev?
Yes.
Bedabiev. What the fuck?
Belieb and Yard.
Yard.
Was the
Why the
last
fuck couldn't I think of that? We talked about that
Yeah.
dude's name for like as much as we
I was
could.
literally scared to mention his name because we couldn't get through a conversation without you just making landscaping jokes.
I feel like Yard kind of earned my respect for that fight though. But
It really grew on me.
Yard, he kind of just blossomed, you know, grew.
Overgrown.
He greened up a bit on me.
Eh.
So yeah, Buffalo Yard kind of like exploited that he could like just you can push Beterbiev back
Yes.
and make him uncomfortable. And what the fuck is Bivol good at?
Exactly.
So like
Bivol doesn't have the power that Yard does, though.
nah, he'll just make it a long night.
Yard
Just pressure him.
cracks.
Yeah.
So that was. It's one of those things. Yeah, you're right. Like Bivol can pressure him and can probably have the same effect with 3 punches that Yard would have had with 1 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which probably over the course of a longer fight is worse.
Yeah, I feel like if Bivol's just going to try to drag him into like, you know, the 9th, 10th round and then try to finish him then. Whereas
Yeah,
Beterbiev's
100%.
going to be trying to knock his head off early and, you know, probably gassing himself as well and then getting pressured. And it's a fun fight. I reckon that's a really fun fight.
It is a really fun.
So what's that at? Light?
175.
What's that though? Like,
Light
175? is
heavyweight.
Light heavyweight, yeah. And then it goes, what, cruiserweight?
heavyweight, cruiserweight, heavyweight.
Heavyweight, okay. Do you have anything written down about Ben and Spence?
No, but I was listening to so on the way to work with Frumi, we were listening to an Eddie Hearn interview with Kugan Cassius.
That's fucking mad that you guys, instead of listening to music, you just nerd out on fucking
Yeah.
boxing interviews and shit. That's fucking dope. Who was he talking to, sorry?
Kugan Cassius.
Kugan Cassius.
Yes, he's one of the interviewers for IFL TV.
Okay.
And Eddie was talking. He didn't mention Spence by. Oh no, he did mention Spence by name actually, because he was talking specifically just about Conor Ben and the whole the WBC, BBBOC fucking situation. But yeah, fucking Conor Ben seems real fucking keen to get in there with Spence, but it seems like he's going to end up in there with Pacquiao beforehand.
No one needs to see that.
No one needs to see that.
I don't need to see Pacquiao get sparked out by Ben.
No.
I'm a huge fan of both of them. I don't know who I'd be rooting for. I'd just be rooting for Manny.
Pacquiao's going to sleep.
Yeah, I'd just be rooting for that not to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have I don't know. You don't want to see, that doesn't do anything for Ben. What does that do? Oh yeah, he sparked an old Manny Pacquiao. How old's Manny now? Like 50? He's close. He's on the road to
45, 46 or something like that.
He's like late 40s.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, what does that do for you, Ben? Just keep pushing for the Spence fight.
Exactly.
What has Spence been saying about him? Because I just seen the tweet of like little man or something.
Here's the thing.
How can you go call other fighters little man when, you know, you can go up against other boxers and then they could just be like, okay, little man. Like, what kind of insult is that when in comparison in your workplace, you're also a little man?
Who, Spence?
No. Ben.
Oh, right.
Like, what kind of insult is that? Like, okay, yeah, whatever he wrote, little man.
So, when he was talking to Tank.
Oh, is he doing? So he's just trying to beef with all
He was
people
talking to
smaller
Tank
than him.
and he was talking to Spence. But he's
Spence
actually
even
trying to set
close
up
to
a
him?
fight with Spence.
Is that like, are they in the same weight?
Him and Spence?
Yeah.
Yeah, both at 147.
Okay, yeah.
So that fight could actually happen. And that's Tank.
Fight him, don't fight
Tank's
Ben.
fought at 140.
Yeah, don't.
Tank's fought at 140, 130, and 135.
So Ben, what was Ben going up to fight?
160.
Okay, yeah. Fuck yeah. Don't fight Pacquiao, dude. No one needs to see that.
I think Ben's going to follow Spence to 154. But here's the point that I need to make also that I didn't write down. There's been some interesting stuff popping up during the week on weird foreign streaming service sites. Not like fake streaming services or anything. There's like weird like European sites and stuff that people use to get their pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Like people are posting, like there's a couple of different sites that are coming up and it's just got like a list of shit. It's got like UFC events that are scheduled in and like WWE pay-per-views and shit like that. And then in the middle of June, on all of these fucking streaming things, it says Spence versus Crawford TBD. And all of a sudden, it was looking like Spence was going to fight Keith Thurman up until like 2 months ago. And then literally everything has just gone dark on it. There hasn't been a word from Crawford. There hasn't been a word from Spence. There hasn't been a word from the PBC.
So yeah, they've just gone fucking quiet on that.
Everyone's gone quiet on that front, which is very, like, that's weird. It's weird because it's been like talk of the town in the welterweight division for literal fucking years. So it's strange that all of a sudden, after it was so close, that everyone's just stopped talking about it. So I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but fucking
that's fine. We need to see it now if we're ever gonna see it.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't want to see like an old bud go in there and fight Spence.
Nah, fuck no, man.
Like a fucking 80-year-old bud just getting his ass whooped.
77-year-old bud.
Yeah. Versus what, a 50-year-old Spence?
Yeah.
No one needs to see that. Just get it done now. If not, but back to Ben. Don't fight Manny, bro.
Yeah. Fucking, it does nothing for you. Exactly your point. Like,
No
it
one
does
wants to see
nothing
it either.
for you.
Who's excited for that? Like, who's like, yeah, it's gonna be such a dope fight. It's not.
No. Not in any way, shape, or form.
Manny's gonna get clipped. It's gonna be like Canelo versus Khan.
Yeah.
And like,
it's literally just everyone sitting there just like, all right, when is he going to sleep?
Yeah, but then like even the aftermath, it's the same scenario. And like, go watch that fight and then that'll be the same outcome.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Where you're like, oh my God, did he actually kill him? Is he dead? Oh no. His legs are moving a little bit. That's a good sign. Yeah. It's fucking kicking.
Oh, fucking hell. All right. So I actually need to go back on one of my points from before. So with making this point, Michaela Mayer is making a lightweight debut against some random fucking person. I don't know who it is. I think she was a former champion because, you know, those divisions aren't huge. But she's making a lightweight debut, which is pretty interesting considering she was at the last Serrano fight. And I dare say we're going to see her ringside at fucking Croke Park in June.
For the KT.
Because where does Katie Taylor go after that except fighting a former unified champion who's just come up from another weight division? But then there's also, like, Baumgartner has said that she wants the Taylor fight as well. So that's also a fucking cracker of a fight.
Yeah, Baumgartner and Taylor would be fun.
It definitely would.
Because like,
I reckon she washes Mayer.
Taylor?
Yeah.
She washes most people.
But Baumgartner's interesting just because she can crack.
Yeah, Baumgartner kind of throws hard shots.
Mm.
And then but Taylor's like usually good defensively unless she kind of gets in them dogfights, which with Serrano she got into because there was like a lot.
Because Serrano was coming up from 2 weight classes, so she could afford to take those punches. I don't think she could afford to get in those. And like you said, she's too smart to get in those dogfights with somebody like Baumgartner.
Yeah, I feel like Baumgartner would just put it down.
Pause before it.
What are you talking about, man? I don't know what you mean.
But as I was saying, I need to go back on one of my points from before because Joe Joyce won't be in contention. Well, he might be after this.
Is he fight one of them?
He's fighting on the co-main against.
I thought he was just going to fight one of them.
No, he's going to fight. He's going to fight the headbutting guy from before, Zhang.
Oh, I do that to that guy.
To who?
The headbutting guy. That was his best. Like his best offense was a headbutt. What? They just put him in there to get murdered against Joe Joyce.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like that's the only outcome in that.
Yeah, that's literally the only outcome in that. Joe Joyce is going to kill this man.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just making a lot of murders at the moment. I feel.
He's so big, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. See, I've never watched much of his stuff ever, but then just like watched the highlight thing like recently, and I was like, oh goddamn.
His last 2 fights are scary.
He's like a big man. Eh?
Did
like,
you watch
massive man?
highlights of the Dubois fight?
No.
He retired him with a jab, fractured his eye socket and shit, just with a jab. And that's the thing as well. Like he's a 270-pound man, and he throws jabs like a fucking lightweight. He'll just sit there all night and just do it. He's a robot.
You just jab your face in.
100%, man. He's fucking terrifying for that division.
Yeah, I don't like that for the headbutting guy. What's his name?
Zayd. His last name's Zhang. I always get him mixed up with the girl from the UFC. Her name's Wei Li, isn't it? Wei Li Zhang?
I don't want to get dragged into this.
Or Zhang Wei Li.
Nonsense.
Anyway.
I don't want to like get involved in this
Speaking of the
nonsense
UFC
that you got happening in there, to be fair.
Speaking of the UFC, this is sort of the only news we have for the week, considering like Dana just literally fucking like blew his load the other week with all of his announcements. But it's looking like Sterling Cejudo is targeted for 288 in mid-April. That's the other thing we're going to talk about, man. We're getting 4 UFC pay-per-views in a period of 2 months. 255 and 256. 285, 286. Like next week, and then one's at the end of March, and then literally like 2 weeks after that, and then the end of April.
Yeah, right.
So, hang on. So I reckon, how long does the Ultimate Fighter season last for?
6 to 8 weeks, you got to imagine?
So we're probably going to see Conor McGregor fight in October?
Yeah, I can imagine.
You would assume.
Because they will go out of that. I don't know how they work it, because like Chandler and Conor will go into a camp.
Yeah.
After that. But like they'll be fit during that, but then they'll go into like their proper camp, I can imagine.
Did you see the photo of him next to Wonder Boy?
Yeah, he looks massive still.
Huge. Ridiculous huge. Like, it's fucking, how are you that big?
Why is he still that big? He'd be 170. Because like, look what he used to cut down to 145. Like
That's
he's
true.
able to just cut himself to the bare minimum.
Yeah, he legitimately looked like a crackhead.
Yeah. So I feel like he will be like, he could be heavy for 170 and then work his way like down pretty easy.
Oh yeah, like he's not, that's the thing, like he looks big, but he only looks big because you've only ever seen him at 155 and shit like that.
Yeah.
The point that I was trying to make a couple of weeks ago, it's like, aside from people like Paddy Pimblett kind of thing, people usually set themselves a little bit of a boundary. If you're cutting to 155, you're not going to fucking blow out past like 180 or some shit in your regular life.
Yeah, we don't want to make it just impossible to fucking get down.
Exactly. So like now that he is
excluded,
sort of cutting to 170, he's probably giving his body that little bit more leeway to fucking bulk out and shit like that. Plus, he did just come off a movie. So you got to think, that's the other thing. That's the other thing that people weren't considering as well during this whole shit. Look at The Rock. He is on every fucking steroid known to man.
He'd tell you otherwise.
He'd what?
He'd tell you otherwise.
Well, fucking...
Don't him and Joe Rogan have beef at the moment?
Yeah, because Rogan, like,
Rogan's
Rogan's
use steroids.
1,000%. That's the thing, man. Rogan's on like TRT and takes a bunch of that shit. He knows.
Yeah, he's just honest about it. And
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I'm on it. Like, why? I don't. They're not going to get in trouble if they're
Like,
like,
if you
oh,
look-
I'm just juiced.
And the only reason he admitted it as well is because Joey Diaz called him out on a podcast. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, it's about the sober October shit.
Yeah.
And he's pretty much just like, you tell him you're on it. Yeah, then they get into it. Yeah,
Which straight away, he's like, yeah, I told him I'm on it. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I told him I have a fucking. He's like, and then he makes the point. He's like, I'm 10 years older than those guys.
yeah, because I always seen Ari.
I always forget that
Yeah, yeah,
because he looks
doesn't look
younger
it.
than all of them.
Yeah, because he just kept his body in good condition
Yeah.
for all that time.
I mean,
But,
Tom looks great at the moment.
Yeah, Bert needs to fucking
Tone it down.
do something. I don't want to see him just die like an early death.
Yeah, but
Like,
like that.
at the moment, I feel like Joey's just going to outlive him.
Yeah, 100%. And Joey has done some shit.
But Bert's just like, I don't know. You see him like go through the sober Octobers, and you're like, oh man, Bert's looking good.
Yeah,
And then you just see Tom like progressively look better through them, like after them. Guess the next one still looks pretty good, and Bert's just like back at day one.
red and bloated. And he's like,
Yeah,
come on,
it's uncomfortable.
don't do this to us. Did you see the trailer for The Machine?
I haven't watched it probably yet, but I see
Dude, it looks real fucking good. Hey?
Yeah, I can't wait.
I was confused as to how they're going to do it.
Yeah,
Like, I was like, how the fuck are they just going to make this into a thing? But it's like, the way that they've done it, looking from the trailer, I was like, fuck, this looks pretty good. I was like, it looks a bit like corny in certain parts, but like,
yeah,
it's pretty, like, the concept of it is going to be just cool to see.
yeah. I can't wait for that shit.
But yeah, Sterling Cejudo targeted for 288.
Yeah. That's like a pretty boring fight to watch.
Yeah.
But
We're hearing
like,
some
can
boring ones
Cejudo
later.
just come back and get it done?
No.
Yeah, but no one in the world thought he'd just beat DJ. Got it done. Outpointed him a whole fight. Like, just beat him. He's like, you got to think he's a double gold medalist.
Yeah.
Like, he's little.
going to be fighting a 185-pound man.
We just seen this in Vulcan Islam.
Yeah, I know, but I just feel like it's different. Sterling is too strong for that division.
Yeah, but Islam's meant to be one of the strongest people ever. Like, you hear like Bobby Green talk about him, and he's just like, he's got an unusual
Henry
career.
Cejudo is not Alexander Volkanovski.
Probably better.
Better in some degrees. I don't reckon he
Most,
has
I
that.
reckon.
All right, yes. But when we're just talking about the natural strength of a person,
Yeah.
look at Henry Cejudo's body. Yeah, it's fit kind of thing. Look at Aljamain Sterling. He's just corded fucking muscle, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. I'm not saying it's going to be a walkover, but I do think Sterling is just going to get it done like he usually does.
I probably favour Cejudo in that fight.
The only reason I think that is because I think Cejudo comes in too confident. Cejudo's
but he
already
always
got it
comes
in his
too
head.
confident.
Yeah, but this is the time that it's going to come back to bite him in the ass.
Look at who Cejudo's training with right now. Jon Jones. Getting his wrestling good.
I suppose. I just have too much hate.
Come over to the Cejudo side, bro. You know you want to. Nah, but like, I get you. I hope he loses. I don't like him as a person. I think he's a douche.
Which
I
is
hope he
hard to
loses.
say because I don't like Sterling either.
Neither, but I'd much prefer Sterling to be in control of that division. At least he's like, going to give people shots.
Mm.
Like, he straight away was like, yeah, I'll fight whoever.
That's
He's
what
gonna
I
ride him
do.
like a backpack. At least he plays into it.
I am under the impression that Cejudo is more talented than Sterling. I just think
Yeah.
it's literally going to come down to Cejudo getting himself into those positions because he thinks I'm better and then realizing that, there's just a bigger man just holding me down.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, man. Like, he blows out to like 160 before he walks into that ring.
Yeah.
He's giant for 135.
I'd be more worried for Cejudo if I didn't know he was training with Jones.
Yeah, that is a big factor.
Just because I'm like, okay, yeah, fucking Sterling. Like, who the fuck is Sterling compared to Jon Jones would look like a midget.
Yeah,
So
but
and then Cejudo
this is the
would be,
thing you got to think
rolling
of
with
as
him and
well.
shit.
The explosivity of somebody of Sterling's size would be different to somebody like Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, Jones would be more like sluggish and
Yes,
like
definitely more powerful.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's more of a feat to get Jon Jones off you than it would be Aljamain Sterling. But
Yeah.
I think Sterling, with the strength that he innately has for somebody his size, and then the ability that he has to transition, it's fucking hard to say as well, man. Because like you can't judge what he's going to do to Cejudo off what he did to Dillashaw.
Well, injured Dillashaw.
Exactly. Who did he fight before that? He fought Yarn, didn't he?
Yarn. Yeah.
And then just held him down for 5 rounds.
Not that good on the ground either.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's a 50-50 fight, man.
I'd give it 70-30.
Okay.
Like I don't know. I don't like Cejudo at all, but like his ability went up a lot in my eyes when he beat DJ Demetrius Johnson.
How did he win that fight?
Points, just better. Like yeah, which is so hard to like even fathom.
Yeah.
Then you look like what DJ's done since that. He got knocked out in one, but by like grounded knees just because he wasn't looking to defend them, my guess.
Mm-hmm.
He's never dealt with them. Like he was like in one, you can like knee him on the ground. And he was like, just like maybe like trying to defend a submission. And the guy just seemed like, oh, he's not even defending himself. Kneed him in the face. And yeah, finished him. And then he's come back from that and just like fought that Muay Thai guy. Just done real good shit. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. No, I'd probably go 60-40. Feels like a more rational choice in my head.
We need the fucking...
The master.
I was about to say, we need our fucking point of difference here. Because as much as we have like this fucking mental connection, it just feels like we're always on the opposite side of these things. You're usually right though, so
yeah.
I would like if you're sitting here listening to this, you're like, I don't know anything about anything. Listen to his opinion for sure, but don't
listen to me.
I don't know. Like I said, I think it's the confidence. I think really at the end of the day, everything stacks up so equally enough that I think the way that Cejudo is going to enter that cage is going to be the complete difference. If he walks in focused and understands that this man can do something to me, he'll win that fight. If he walks into that cage and goes, I am the double champ, I am Triple C, I am this, I am that, he gets fucking Aljamain Sterling wears him like a backpack for 25 minutes. Other way around.
Yeah, I mean, most fights are dependent on like how it goes with like how people come in. But yeah, I agree in that sense. If he comes in like too confident,
too cocky, thinking that he's just going to walk through him, it's not going to be a walk in the park.
He's going to have like ring rust as well.
That's the other thing.
Because he hasn't been in there in a while. It's been what, like 3 years?
3 years, 3 and a bit years.
Yeah. So he's going to have ring rust for sure. Which is like, it doesn't affect everyone, but like, just dependent. On how you handle with it. He's been training with like good people still, so I feel like that's a good sign for him. Yeah. We'll see what happens when it gets announced.
Well, yeah, it's looking at 288, so like the end of April, just over 2 months away.
So we're going to go back into it again.
Yeah.
Talk about it more. That's not even our show. We're like, nah, this guy's going to win for sure.
Oh, well, there'll be more, like we'll have more of a idea about it once it fucking starts moving. Hello, Bruce. Little mascot. Speaking of two people who are probably going to have a bit of ring rust when they get in there together. So the dude I was talking about the other day, Edgar Berlanga, who's just been signed to Matchroom, is potentially looking at a Jacobs fight in June.
Danny Jacobs.
It's an interesting fight, man, because Jacobs has been shown to have a chin.
Yeah.
Berlanga was on a like ridiculous KO streak before he went distance his first fight. He was like knocking cunts out in like the first, second round, pretty much every fight.
Yeah.
Obviously, padded record, that kind of bullshit, but can crack. Was exposed a little bit by some boxers in his last couple of fights. I think he changed trainers as well, so that could potentially help him if he tends to, like, if he actually gets some technical ability behind him, he'll be a fucking danger because that cunt cracks for 168. So
just needs a bit of fucking better.
Jacobs is going to be a real test for him, man. Jacobs is a solid fucking boxer. He's fought the best. Yeah, he's lost to them, but he's fought the best and he's taken them 12. Wait, did Triple J stop him? I can't remember. If he did, he did it late. But I don't think he did.
Has he ever fought Gabe?
Say again?
Has he ever fought Gabe?
No.
Well, he hasn't fought the best then, Ned. I mean,
Well, he's not even there anymore.
no, I mean, if he wanted to, really test himself, he should have fought the king. But I don't know enough about the other guy. I know like enough about Jacobs to know it's going to be like, regardless, it's going to be like a competitive fight.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a Jacobs fight that's not competitive.
100%. He's always puts on a show, man.
Good boxer as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, if
big
you're excited for it,
big
I'm
and
excited.
rangy, so it's going to be good
Yeah.
to see Belanga tested against somebody like that.
Yeah, if you're excited, I'm fucking keen to watch it also.
Alrighty. Now,
Mhm.
speaking of comebacks earlier, Billy Joe Saunders is looking at fighting Demetrius Andrade.
What, like Billy Joe that got his face broken?
Yes, Billy Joe that got his face broken.
He's going to come back and fight someone that cracks.
Yeah.
Beautiful idea.
Yeah. Sounds like a good plan, doesn't it? Yeah, so what's going to happen, right, is I'm going to get some dude who started at 147, absolutely shattered one side of my face, okay? I'm going to take a couple of months off, maybe even a year. Then I'm going to pick a really big black guy that hits quite hard.
Way harder than what Canelo would hit.
Fight him as well.
Yeah.
While my face is fragile.
Still healing. That's terrible for him.
Oh, it's an
Saunders.
interesting.
But, like, good-
It goes both ways, man, because like Billy Joe is a slick boxer at the end of the day. He was giving Canelo trouble those first couple of rounds before
Yeah.
his eye socket got turned into dust.
Yeah, before he give him the old fucking. But
Fucking, I love those. Every single time it comes up, like Billy Joe versus Canelo highlights. I'm sitting there and watching all 20 minutes of this.
yeah.
Just
But,
for that.
yeah, it was a fun fight up until like he destroyed his face.
Oh yeah, it was 100%. But yeah, so it's an interesting fight both ways. That's it. Everything in the news this week is pretty much just a 50-50 fight, except for the next thing we're going to talk about anyway. Yeah, this is apparently their teams have been in talks for a couple of months, so no real news on it yet. But it's good to see that Andrade is being fucking like active because he fought. It was only a couple of weeks ago at this point that he was on a card.
Yeah.
And he's been accused of massive inactivity before, so that's good, fighting somebody that has previously fought Canelo.
Yeah.
And then Billy Joe Saunders making a comeback against an actual decent opponent. It's just good to see, like, names fight each other.
Yeah. Like actually shit is getting made in boxing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of shit actually getting made in boxing, June 10th is when we're looking at Lopez versus Taylor.
Okay. It's a fun fight. It's exciting to see how Lopez comes.
So, interestingly enough, Taylor's
is it
come out
hard?
during the week and said that his team erred more towards
Tender?
this because it was too good. Fucking yeah. So Taylor's team came out during the week and said that the TFMO fight is actually a harder fight than the Jack Catterall rematch,
Yeah.
which is interesting to say. I think that the only reason they say that is because TFMO has the power to like put people out.
At lower weights.
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
And who did he put out? He didn't put Loma out. He didn't put Cambosis out. He put lower weighted.
Well, that's the thing. If you look at have you seen him knock out Commie? That dude, the black dude, sorry, not the last black dude, the Lomachenko fought. The dude before that. One where he was like telling his corner, like, you should stop this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tfimo gave that cunt the stanky leg in like 45 seconds. And he was like a long reigning lightweight champ before that. And he just shut his fucking lights out.
Stanky Lang dip.
Yeah. He's just like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't
So
see.
he does have decent power.
He couldn't knock out Martin.
Martin's a better
Not drop.
boxer than people give him credit for.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad boxer, but like Tfimo would have landed shots.
He's a Mexican too. Or like Venezuelan or whatever the fuck it is. So they literally just train standing in front of each other, punching each other in the fucking head.
Yeah.
They used to take. So I reckon Taylor's most likely going to get it done, man. It's like Cambosis put Teofimo down, and yeah, he might have been compromised during that period of time or whatever, but it was a flush shot, and you got knocked the fuck down from it. And I guarantee you, Josh Taylor hits a lot harder than George Cambosis. George Cambosis is natural lightweight.
Yeah.
Josh Taylor is struggling to make 140, like cutting the fuck out of himself to make 140. So he blows up to like nearly 155, 160 pounds the next day.
Yeah, so he's a.
So
Yeah.
the thing is, Lopez is actually fighting someone around his size for once, because he does blow up quite a bit.
Yeah, I gotcha. I don't know. I just see it being a good test for Lopez.
It
That's
is.
like my whole thing. It's just a good test to see if he's like should be up at that weight, etc. If he's still got it, he's gonna answer a lot of his own questions. I feel
He really
feels-
is.
probably important for him to do, but
Speaking of questions that have been answered, let's move on to what happened today. What did happen today?
I mean,
What the fuck happened?
we'll talk about the fight and then we'll talk about the ref.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I mean, it's kind of what we expected to.
Well, we both
Amateur
thought Paul
fighters.
was going to win, but like we also
yeah.
sort of said, like if Tommy does this, then it'll just be a decision his way.
Well, I was like, I more thought it was like the closer it got, I was pushing that it was going to go to a draw just to set up a second fight. So yeah, I was like, I more thought it would go to a draw just to set up the second fight. Then it's
Yeah.
like they got the rematch clause if Tommy wins, but I'm like, fucking Jake's not going to want a loss against his name.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I'm like, the more you watch the fight, you're like, okay, does Jake just want a loss against his name? So then he can come back and beat Tommy by devastating knockout and then go into the rankings. And then just like, because like, I just seen Tommy like pulling punches and like, it was weird fight to watch, man.
Yeah, it was. I don't know.
Like, I'm not saying I'm by no means like scripted, 100% scripted. I'm just saying shit that I seen was weird.
Yeah, it definitely was. There was just some strange, like, I don't know. It's hard not to talk about the fight without talking about the ref. So let's just move on to that right away.
Yeah.
The fact that, like you said, you made a brilliant point before. The fact that, yeah, like combined with their like amateur and pro record, they've got like 30 fights between them. Tommy fought like 8 amateur fights or some shit before he went to pro, and Jake fought none.
Yeah.
They have no prior, like, yeah, Tommy's been doing it his whole life or whatever, but he hasn't got an extensive fucking career like his brother does, or even his cousin does. So the ref needs to give those fucking discrepancies. I've never seen a ref take a point so fast.
No, but also like it just leads into me being like how weird the fight was.
Yes.
Neither fighter reacted that bad to getting a point taken.
No.
Like they were just like half like, yeah, whatever. Like, oh, this part's happening, sweet.
Well, I think it fucking caught him off guard, man, because usually the ref will be like, you know, stop punching in the back of the head. That's a warning.
Yeah.
Like, and then he'll pull them aside. Like, if you do it again, I'm going to take a point.
Yeah. This guy. That ref was just adds into my whole weirdness of the whole fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fuck, who got that ref?
I have no fucking idea.
How many fights was that ref before? Is it his first one? Because they were like, oh, it's not for a belt, or it's just like an interview or whatever.
Dude was from Panama.
Yeah, why did they have that dude? They had a judge from Panama as well, didn't
I
they?
don't fucking know, man. It was real weird. Like you said, we're not sitting here saying, look, the fight was scripted and shit, but there was just, like, if you're paying attention, there is just weird shit that happened. Like you said, there was numerous opportunities where Fury was, like, looking at his head, and it's like, why didn't you throw the punch? Like, any normal person would have just thrown the punch.
Well, like, even to the point I've seen, like, Fury, like, pull back on some of his, like, power. You'd see him, like, have an opening, go to throw the cross, and, like, halfway through the punch, like, ease off on it. And it's like, that's just weird to me. Maybe they have a no knockout clause. Like, they're like, I don't fucking understand. I don't think it was like, oh, yeah, no, this person was meant to win, because they fucking fought their asses off.
Yeah, they did.
They fought to, like, you know, the best of their abilities that they have so far. And I feel like Jake surprised people with how good he actually is.
Yeah, 100%. He did surprise me in certain
people
parts.
with like how talented he actually is.
Well, it's one of those things. It's what everybody said was always going to happen. It's Jake was going to be exposed when he actually gets put in there with a boxer. And yeah, like I said, Tommy Fury hasn't had the most extensive fucking career, but his last name is still Fury. So
yeah, exactly.
By proxy, when you train with, you know, one of the longest reigning heavyweight champions, potentially one of the best of this era, you're going to pick up some inherent skill.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to imagine he, like, probably spars with Tyson.
Yeah.
You know, does pads, like, around him and, like, as much of a douche as their dad is, he's not like Lopez Senior, where he's just a crazy person rambling nonsense. He actually has a good knowledge of boxing.
It's Don
Decent.
Fury does
Not good.
ramble nonsense and
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
a bunch of shit, but he doesn't do it in the ring. Is the important point. He gets in and he tells Tommy, "You need to do this. You're doing this wrong. This is good."
Yeah.
Just does his job as a trainer and then gets out.
We talk about how much of a douche Logan Paul is. He's just like in the crowd going into the 8th round, which was their last round, and he's just like, "If you can hear me, you bitch, shut the fuck up." Is it just me, or does that guy begin like to look more like an alien every fucking time you see him?
He's on some drugs, man.
100% he is.
You don't like.
Anyone that gets a shitty haircut like that,
Dude,
fuck shit.
If I was Jake, I would have pulled him into the locker room after that and be like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?"
I'm trying to make a professional boxing career here.
Yeah. Didn't you see what I did yesterday in the face-to-face where I apologized for talking about his baby and gave him a present? Like, what part of that do you think is me trying to start beef with the family? Exactly, because that's what he did. Oh, the whole Fury family of bitches. This isn't a WWE event.
No.
Keep that shit at your house with your mountains of cocaine, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, you're not about to jump up on the fucking ropes and do a fucking whatever that clothesline is to the other dude.
Let's just fucking, before we talk
In the
about the
boxing.
UFC, let's just switch some fucking segments around. This is what sends my Bernie this week. That
Logan Paul. I mean, I'm weird on the whole matter of like, is he an alien maybe? Because like he just all the time looks weirder and weirder, man.
Well, that's what I mean. I reckon he's strung out on drugs.
Yeah, no, 100% is. But like Tyson can be like strung out on drugs and like he still looks like a normal human.
Yeah, that's true.
Like this fucking dude, bro. I don't know. I'm sus on it.
But just, yeah, that whole, well, more to the point, it's like, why do we even need Logan Paul's thoughts in the middle of a fight? Who cares?
Also, why is Logan Paul coming out with a video before Jake's fight? A pretty important fight. Logan came out with a video like, "Oh, KSI left Prime." And you know how KSI announces, like, after the fight, you know how KSI announces, like, he's calling Jake out?
Yeah.
You should have had Prime. Fuck off. Stop shitting on your own brother as well. It's a fucking disgrace to your fucking family, man. Like, yeah, don't do that shit. Like, he put the thing up, like, 2 days before Jake's fight. Like, oh, Logan left, KSI left Prime. Like, putting attention on him. Just like what he likes to do. And then it gets to fucking, yeah, the end of the fight. He would have had a plan with KSI. Like, oh, if Jake loses, come out with, like, Prime.
He literally he just promotes it everywhere. I seen some other tweet of him saying, like, "I'd bet my entire stake in Prime that Jake wins by knockout on the weekend." It's like, why couldn't you just say money? Why have you got to promote your company and try and overshadow your brother?
Have you seen people like, just more and more people have been able to get it now, testing it?
Yeah.
Some people are like, yeah, it's not bad. Then there's just like a lot of people that are like, what the fuck?
Like, it's terrible.
Yeah. But then there's like a good percentage that are also just like, and that are like just, they're not promoted by it, I don't think, because you can tell they've got just like 2 bottles of it.
Yeah.
They both try like a sip of each flavor and they're like, oh, this one's pretty good and this one's kind of shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, maybe it's not as bad.
I mean, it's probably not great.
I don't know. I feel like you could probably just have a glass of Kool-Aid.
Can't imagine it being any better than, like, yeah, Gatorade or some shit like that.
What's that Heaps Dope Farm that drink heaps of mad Kool-Aid? The Jonestown Farm or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe everyone that drinks Prime should just do that. I'm just saying.
Bit of a Waco situation at the Paul compound in fucking Puerto Rico, eh?
Oh, you know.
Yeah, anyway, fuck you, Logan.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't agree with him doing that shit.
Yeah,
Like, your brother's
that's it.
trying to hear his fucking instructions going into the last round, which he's behind.
Mm.
He's probably trying to listen to his coach and shit, who, like, there's a reason he doesn't have you and your dad in his fucking corner.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mind their dad, eh?
Yeah, the dad seems alright.
He kind of just, like you seen when they go in to get Jake as he's like about to walk in.
Yeah.
He's about to walk out and he's like, oh, there's like full moves to the side. So I feel like he just realizes like, oh, the spotlight's not on me.
Yeah.
You don't see much of him unless like there's an interview where he's there and they like hit him up for an interview and he's like pretty respectful for the most part.
Yeah, he seems like a normal enough dude.
Yeah. And you just got Logan while you're trying to get instructions from your corner person, just like, and your coach and like trying to just tell you what you need to do in this last round. You got this dickhead on the mic who's just distracted Jay. You can tell he's like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, for who they are, it was an exciting fight, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. Anybody that expected a fucking, like a, you know, a display of
Vanilla
sweets.
Triple G fight.
Exactly. So anybody that expected to see a real, like, pugilistic contest, it's like, it wasn't ever going to be that. It's going to be a shit show. Just expect a shit show and be happy with it.
Yeah. But I mean, boxing skill-wise, I feel like both guys were impressive.
Yeah.
But like I'm like saying for their records and shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Fury's obviously got some good talent, but then for Jake to be able to hang in there with him,
yeah,
it shows like, okay, he's got some talent himself.
Yeah, he's definitely improved since his like first couple of fights, 100%.
I feel like he just gets better and better as well.
He
like,
does, yeah.
He gradually, because he's like just dedicated his life to it. I still feel like he fucks KSI up.
Most likely.
I don't, unless KSI clips him, because KSI can obviously hit hard. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like KSI's just a bit wild.
Yeah, he is.
Jake's like going to have the experience of fighting Fury twice, who's not wild. Picks his shots, tries to fucking use his like 1-2.
So is it going to be a rematch?
Yeah, there was a rematch clause. And they both agreed on it afterwards.
Great.
But like, yeah, so we'll probably see that again. And then we'll see him fight KSI.
Yeah.
Which like, oh, we want to see him fight a legitimate boxer finally twice and then go fight KSI.
Especially if he wins the second fight.
Yeah. They can fuck off.
Yeah.
Then we'll see a third one. There's no doubt about it that Fury's going to have a fucking rematch clause in his contract this time around.
Yep.
And then we're going to see a third one of them. By that time, fucking KSI is going to, you know, beat a few more YouTubers. Hopefully run into an ass.
I'm so over talking about this because I feel like the entire theme of the show is just being like, this fight's not going to happen and it's going to be shit. So let's move on to something everyone's been fucking waiting for, and we'll close out the show with this.
Loans. He's behaved.
He has.
He's been fucking
Had his goody shoes on.
They've had him on his best behavior.
I legit reckon he's like locked in solitary confinement when he's not training.
It's like I was saying earlier, he's got like good people around him though.
Yes.
And he's not just like out. Like he knows it's like this is probably the last chance.
Mm-hmm. He can't fuck it up now.
It's like heavyweight too. I feel like it's the most serious he's ever taken a fight, and that is fucking scary.
And apparently Cyril's not taking it seriously.
He says that, but like you have a look at the dude.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, I'm lazy. Cunt, you're like 250 pounds and shredded.
He did get out grappled by Francis.
But Francis is just an animal.
It's majorly concerning for me. He should be like working nothing, but he's like a real good kickboxer.
Yeah.
Got like a real good kickboxing background. His wrestling and ground game is terrible, and Jones is going to exploit it.
Oh, 100%.
Like Jon Jones, who took down Olympic champion Daniel Cormier and was just able to Jones's thing when he was like doing his crazy shit, he just liked to
be you what you're best at.
Yeah. So like if you were like a ground specialist, he'd just try to take you down. If you were like real good kickboxer, he'd just try to kickbox with you.
Yeah.
That's psycho shit, man.
So yeah, it's that real Jordan mentality.
So we might have seen him come out and kickbox with Cyril. Which is like Cyril hits hard, man. He finished 2 of us.
Yeah, it's true.
And like, but I don't know. I feel like Jones is just gonna outwit him. Like Jones is just smart, super smart.
Yeah, fight
IQ
is just off the charts.
Yeah, like I feel like the pound for pound list are weird because like pound for pound, just fight skill, it's Jon Jones.
100%.
But then like you got to add like so many things. Oh, how did they do through their career? Did they fucking did they fuck it up majorly by taking drugs and doing this and like. Yeah, he can't be putting that pound for pound.
Everything does fall into it in that degree. Like, it's a small scale when it comes to everything else, but on the grand scheme of things, if somebody else has been just as consistent, it's why Volkanovski's at the top.
Yeah, it's fucking...
Because he's been just as consistent and just as dominant as what Jones was, pretty much, but...
And he's also just like an upstanding champion.
Exactly, yeah.
Speaking of this card, though, Ned.
It's a good card. Who's earlier on it that I'm forgetting?
Ian Gary.
Yes.
Who recently worked with Liam Harrison.
So that's I did see that.
Exciting because he was already a real good kickboxer. Like he's a mad kickboxer. I should
That's
say.
scary,
And then he's
man.
like worked with Liam Harrison for a bit, which is like, yeah.
That Harrison kind of knows what he's doing.
Moving through the card a bit, then we got Derek Brunson back again versus
Shavkat Rakhmonov.
no. Durka, I think that says.
Duplessis?
Yeah, something like that.
Duplessis was
Yeah.
the guy that fought. What weight is that at?
3 taps, I'm not too sure.
Speaking in Morse code.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not real great at Morse code. I've never heard of his name, to be honest, but I haven't been paying as much
Duplessis
attention.
fought someone fucking like a couple of months ago.
Okay.
I don't know who the fuck it was.
Well, any fight with Derek Brunson's pretty fun because he's not a fun fighter, but he like knows how to make people fight.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Cody Garbrandt back, hopefully to get knocked out again.
He's on the prelims, isn't he?
I hope so. Deserves to
He
be
is.
there.
I've seen that. He's like he's headlining the prelims.
Shevchenko
Ooh. Who's
versus
she fighting?
Alexa Grasso. It's going to be a murder.
Yeah.
No doubt about it in my eyes.
Shevchenko's terrifying, man.
She's the best. I swear she's like low on the card though. I swear, there's no possible way.
She's the co-main.
Yeah, they've got their times fucked up where I'm looking.
Yeah.
Then there's like Bo Nickel, who's like a wrestler. He's on the card.
He's opening the card.
And then Johnny Bones versus Cyril. I see it going in Jones's favor.
I don't think anyone sees it going in Cyril's favor, man.
No,
Like you said, Jones's fight IQ is just too much.
yeah, he's too good. And he's fucking done the whole fucking moving up weight the best way you can.
Yeah.
It's taken all the time he fucking needed, and he's obviously just like gotten his body ready for it,
Mm-hmm.
rather than just like I can just go up there and your body like shits itself because it's like used to fighting. Maybe it's only fucking 10-pound lighter, but it still fucking makes a difference. Yeah, but it's gonna be fucking exciting weekend.
It's going to be a very fucking exciting weekend, man. I don't think we have any boxing on that I can think of.
No, I don't think so.
Nothing of note, anyway. Like you said, like we've got Brock Jarvis headlining a No Limit card next week, and then next weekend is Tim Tszyu versus Tony Harrison.
Let's go, Tim. We'll talk about that next
Fucking
week. Though.
get him, Timmy.
So if you're looking for us, you can find us Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, Apple. We're Eggplant Tornado Podcast.
Wherever you're looking.
Get behind the boys, help us, help you, enjoy yourselves.
Peace.
Anything you want to leave them with, Ned?
I've had enough of me.
El Gabriel, Justin Ramos.